A reading by the author, B Brewster, of My Internet Bride, Book 2. Chapter 13, Biker Bride, page 95. Right away I discerned a couple positives. This green motorcycle wasn't exactly monstrous in size, not like the classic 245.5 kilogram or 541 pound 1000cc Kawasaki Beast I used to tool around on back in the day. Yet, thankfully, the Luvo was a tad bigger than the one Wellen zipped around on. And no, it wasn't some stupid moped or trail bike like so many of my friends assumed it to be. It was a mid-sized motorcycle, only it sat lower than its American counterpart. So think, reader friend, a 500cc lowrider if that helps. And it was an automatic, which meant I didn't have to relearn the old left foot shifter, left hand grip, clutch routine all over again. Not that I couldn't probably remember this, only with considerable practice. But my biggest obstacle to overcome was my latent fear. I damn near got killed on my collie the last time I rode in 1992 and haven't ridden a bike ever since. That's over 27 years ago. A hell of a long time to be afraid of something. My girlfriend knew this was going to be very challenging for me, as we discussed this previously. So it was a matter of my stepping up to the plate and showing everyone what kind of balls I had. I wasn't 100% sure about this, but knowing this was essentially the moment of truth, I reluctantly mounted the bike, and surprise, surprise, I immediately felt relieved with a surprisingly comfortable fit. Both feet were flat on the ground and not on their tippy toes as with my 1977 Collie. Excellent. Previously, Papa and Wellen went over the controls on the bike as though I couldn't figure them out myself. I know they were simply being nice and keeping things safe. But then it occurred to me that perhaps these controls could be arranged a bit differently outside of the USA. I cite, for example, the classical steering wheel mounted on the right side in cars driven in the UK. The trickiest step to get used to, believe it or not, was the odd way you slid this metal guard thing around to insert the starter key. Most intriguing. Evidently, this was an anti-theft mechanism to not only start the bike, but unlock the steering column. So here it was, alas, the moment of truth was upon me. Without any hesitation, I gunned the throttle on the Luvo, pulled up my feet to rest on the front pegs, and before I knew it, shot down the narrow road. Sure, going straight was the easy part. Now, to turn around, Brian. What makes riding any motorcycle a particular challenge is that one has to execute a turn with the amount of precision to complete a perfect U-turn. This is quintessential. After all, there is no reverse gear on motorbikes. Screw up, and you'll have to walk the bike clumsily backwards, often on tippy toes, which really is no fun whatsoever. It scared me how quickly my old biker abilities came back to me. I not only maintained perfect balance, but executed a smooth turnaround like a pro. Yeah, baby, you're back in the saddle again, I told myself proudly. Just like riding a bicycle, I hummed in my head. But my cockiness was premature. I knew the severity of my riding ability was crucial. I absolutely could not be afraid of riding myself around, but also handling a passenger. This is why I decided not to rush this process and continue riding. I felt it critical to practice my acceleration and braking to gain the requisite confidence I need in the coming days before returning. This is why I branched out onto longer roads to cruise. Despite performing a minimum of turns for fear of getting hopelessly lost, much to my chagrin, a couple minutes later, I was exactly that, kind of lost. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Papa was getting mighty antsy. In fact, I would hear later from my girlfriend that he asked nervously, "Where is he? Is he coming back?" And that he kept nervously poking his head down the street looking for me. I wasn't sure if he thought I had gotten lost or worse even, wrecked the bike. To really open her up and gain some speed, I traveled down a long ways before I made my precision turnaround. This was back by these bumpy set of railroad tracks. Perhaps being so far away was why nobody could see me. But coming back, I started panicking. Immediately, I pulled over and stopped to mentally force my brain to retrace its steps. Uh-oh, I conceded. Things were starting to look completely different, and that's precisely when I knew something was wrong. But hey, I had an app for that. Without hesitation, I slowed and quickly turned around. Sure enough, I had overshot a critical left turn. Welland's Village was deceptively complex, reminding me of Levittown, Pennsylvania, where my cousin Andy had lived for a number of years. Every section was so unique they came with their own name. Each was a crazy labyrinth upon itself. Papa, Mama, and Dewey came out to greet my safe return, all full of big, albeit nervous smiles. The family consensus was unanimous. Brian, their future son-in-law, was now ready to ride their eldest daughter, Welland, to the beach.